China City volunteers carry out relief work for flood survivors in Zhejiang's Yuyao city. We meet this year's Filial Award recipient Xu Yuxing to see how she fulfills her filial duties. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. First up in China, Typhoon Fito devastated the country's east coast earlier in October, severely flooding Yuyao City in Zhejiang province. To help, city volunteers arrived in Yuyao to survey the needs of the flood survivors and also distributed emergency supplies to some 900 residents.
The head of this village shows her gratitude to City volunteers. Next, 82-year-old Grandpa Sun also expresses his thanks to the NGO.
I'm from the village of Sun clan. On behalf of my fellow villagers, thank you, City volunteers.
In early October, Typhoon Fito slammed into China's east coast, flooding 70% of Yuyao City. City volunteers carried out 2 rounds of disaster surveys in the remote villages of Jiangnan and Yanjiang and decided to distribute relief items.
She says there are many people in her family. Her grandson manages a factory, but it was flooded too. Now this grandma lives alone.
This aid distribution provided relief items such as rice, cooking oil, and cleaning agents. Tending to seniors' needs, City volunteers carried aid supplies to the doorsteps of the senior residents.
City volunteers are here to help us.
Seeing the senior residents' situation, I vow to do my best to help them so that they can happily return home with their hands full of aid supplies.
Over 80 volunteers take a day's leave in order to help out at the distribution.
They need my help, though I can only contribute a little by myself. But as long as every individual joins in, our collective strength can really help the less fortunate.
As this aid distribution concludes on a perfect note, City volunteers are already planning to deliver bed quilts to help the residents pass a winter full of warmth and love.
Also in China, prior to the annual winter aid distributions, Jiangsu City volunteers first carried out home visitations in Sihong County. As over 50% of the 1 million population in the county are low-income earners, volunteers hope through the survey to better understand the needs of local residents and thus prepare necessary relief items for the coming distributions.
Today is a day for blessing for Grandma Zhu because not only do City volunteers visit her, but also her granddaughter, whom she misses the most.
Every time I see my granddaughter, I cry. When she was 7 years old, her mother took her away and left me behind. When I see her, I would cry. My tears just kept rolling down. I just couldn't help crying because I really miss her.
At this remote village, the old and sick solely rely on government subsidies. Upon learning that Grandpa Ma suffers from cataracts, City volunteers promise to help him with free cataract surgery.
Don't forget to undergo cataract surgery. The village head will help you.
Grandpa Ma invites the volunteers to visit his house the next time they go to the village. However, the poor harvests have made their life even more difficult.
Just feel free to tell us what you need. We will come back in winter.
Making a promise to the local villagers, next time City volunteers will return with much-needed aid supplies.
Moving to the United States, city volunteers recently arrived in Lyons, Colorado to carry out a disaster survey following a catastrophic flooding over a month ago. With many residents yet to receive government support, city volunteers have teamed up with the local Red Cross and a Catholic church and plan to hold an aid distribution on October 19th to help flood survivors.
Building there used to be on solid ground.
But now it's just like...
Now it's part of the river.
Here in Lyons of Colorado, United States, historic floods on September 11th ravaged this beautiful town as floodwaters devastated buildings and paralyzed all road traffic.
I've been here for 3 weeks now and I still can't believe all the damage. It makes me want to start crying.
With the assistance of the local Red Cross, Tzu Chi volunteers reached the disaster area to carry out a disaster survey. There they found most of the homes still covered in mud and wastewater, with many residents forced to leave.
Because the water treatment plant doesn't have any power, so we can't use the water. And all the septic tanks up above flooded right into here.
So what kind of problem?
E. coli.
We have not seen much that's left of the house except the structure, the foundation, and the...
Regardless of the awful smell of the wastewater, these boys do not complain while cleaning up.
These are my boys, yes, 3 of those.
So where are you guys coming from?
Virginia. We come from Virginia.
And all these are all volunteer works?
Yes. We probably don't realize what the people that own this, what they really went through. To lose everything that they've worked for.
Following the disaster survey, Tzu Chi volunteers will work with the local Red Cross in holding an aid distribution on October 19th to help the residents of Lyons, as well as the Catholic Church in Evans City, another flood-ravaged area. The volunteers will also be providing assistance to over 100 illegal immigrant families.
At the conclusion of the rice distribution and large-scale free clinic held in Haiti, Tzu Chi volunteers organized the first ever TIMA Volunteers Training Seminar in Port-au-Prince on October 13th, which was attended by many local Haitian doctors and volunteers. Let's take a look.
Tzu Chi volunteers and local Haitian doctors teamed up to hold a large-scale free clinic in Port-au-Prince. The next day, the first ever TIMA volunteer training seminar was held, in which 45 local doctors and volunteers attended.
We hope that our rice distribution and medical services may motivate more local medical personnel to spread Tzu Chi's humanitarian spirit back to their own communities.
Next time when we come back, everyone will wear a new TIMA uniform.
The Tzu Chi International Medical Association was established in Haiti in September 2012. And through the seminar, many doctors expressed their willingness to join TIMA.
Haiti's hope lies in these professionals and their willingness to make a difference. Haiti's transformation will not happen in a day. It's a long journey on this road to recovery. It is a journey which can only be conquered if all hearts are united as one.
In preparation for the Tzu Chi training seminar beginning today on October 18th, DaAi TV staff members and department supervisors gathered at the Tzu Chi Guandu grounds to make a traditional dish for the trainees. Meanwhile, medical staff from the Taipei, Taichung, and Hualien Tzu Chi hospitals also prepared their own signature dishes, hoping to leave these trainees with an unforgettable taste of love.
Donning aprons over their white robes, Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital staff are making pickled cabbage in preparation for the upcoming Tzu Chi training seminar in Hualien. From washing to chopping the vegetables, although each action is not entirely perfect, with heart each dish is filled with creativity.
Apart from making our regular pickled cabbage this year, we are also making a bitter melon dish and a sprouts of wisdom, a dish made from bean sprouts.
While here at the Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital, the superintendent leads some 20 staff members in preparing a healthy and eco-friendly dish of red yeast konjac.
Red yeast has become the healthier food choice nowadays, as it helps lower our cholesterol.
Only when you are involved physically can you understand how the food is produced and how to observe the concept of vegetarianism. If you only see plates of food, you won't understand the slaughter and bloodshed behind it.
Also bringing their A-game are staff members of the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital, whose signature peeled peppers leave mouths watering. Tzu Chi Hospital's medical staff work in unity, hoping to share this good taste with members of their Tzu Chi family. Quickly dicing the mustard greens, showing off their culinary skills, DaAi TV's department supervisor set some time aside to prepare this olive and mustard greens dish. As it's not a simple dish to create, each step is a test of the will, requiring persistence.
Olive and mustard greens are very appetizing. It's a traditional dish and also a way to store vegetables.
After chopping up the mushrooms and mustard greens, the king oyster mushrooms need to be diced next. The preparation work alone requires some attention. This is all for sharing the traditional flavor with others.
It's very difficult to clean, extremely difficult. You have to first wash out the soil without breaking it.
They purposely gave us 100% to encourage us.
Once all the ingredients are stir-fried, they are placed into small containers. This dish not only embodies traditional flavors, it is also packed with the love of the DaAi TV staff.
To safeguard the health of consumers, the Council of Agriculture in Taiwan has established the Agriculture and Food Traceability System. The system enables tea farmers to record the growing process of their goods, including the amount of pesticides and chemical fertilizers used. However, in reality, not many tea farmers are using the system. Today, we follow our DaAi TV reporter to find out what is really in the tea we drink each day.
This is the website of the Taiwan Agriculture and Food Traceability System. This system will record everything, including manual weeding and pest control.
The Taiwan Agriculture and Food Traceability System lets farmers record the amount of pesticides used in their tea fields.
The amount of pesticide used and the percentage it is diluted have to be recorded clearly on the system.
Recording everything into the system, many tea farmers said that the procedure is slow and expensive. On the other hand, since the Council of Agriculture only checks it once a year, many tea farmers have stopped using the system.
We have about a third of the tea farmers on the system. It is not an effective system and very time-consuming. All of us will join the system in the future if needed.
With the information recorded onto the Agriculture and Food Traceability System, members of the public cannot determine what is used in the growing process.
Now we are at Mount Ali's tea growing area, and behind us is tea grown the conventional way. We want to collect samples from different tea farmers and send them for lab tests. Let's go. We have collected about 10 samples from Mount Ali. Tea shops in Kaohsiung and Taipei. Now we are going to send these samples to this lab in Kaohsiung to see if there are heavy metals and pesticides residues.
Even without going through the lab, we started to question the packaging labels on these tea bags.
Normally, products should have labels that indicate where the products came from and contact information. This one doesn't have labels.
After grinding these tea leaves, undergoing dilution, drying and extraction, it is ready to be tested for pesticide residues.
Right now, we will be testing for 251 kinds of pesticides. We will be using another method to test for dithiocarbamates.
According to the data, other than those that we purchased directly from tea farmers, the rest all contain pesticide residues. In fact, up to the end of September, 600 tea samples were sent to the lab by producers or tea farmers, and the results were...
In Taiwan, 75% of the tea has a trace amount of pesticide residues. However, all are within the safety standards set by the government. About 25% of the tea is pesticide-free. I think about 80 to 90% of the tea farmers label their products as organic goods.
Other than testing positive for pesticide residues, the results also showed that all samples contain lead and copper. Since heavy metals in tea is not regulated in Taiwan, it can lead to serious health problems for consumers.
Most of the tea samples tested positive for copper, and the amounts of lead, mercury, cadmium, and arsenic are limited. It may lead to serious health problems if consumers add these tea products into their dishes or consume them in powder form.
Although the amount of pesticide residues in these tea samples is still within the safety standards set by the Taiwanese government, they may not pass international standards. If Taiwan wants to sell its tea worldwide, maybe the government should readjust its pesticide testing to avoid trade problems.
In 2007, Tzu Chi established the New Shoot Scholarship Program in Taiwan to ensure needy students get to continue on with their studies. Next, we meet one of this year's New Shoot Scholarship recipients in the Filial Piety Award category, Xu Yuxin, who realized that fulfilling her filial duties cannot wait and began working hard in school in hopes of making her parents proud.
I miss my mom. I haven't seen her for so long. Whenever I think of her, it makes me cry. I didn't obey my parents back then. Maybe it was because my mom was in the hospital, so I had nobody to be with me. I used to complain a lot, but now I really regret the way I treated and disobeyed them.
After her mother passed away, Yuxin realized it was too late to fulfill her filial duties.
Right before my mom left, she told me to behave and to obey my dad.
Now she helps with sweeping, doing dishes, laundry, all kinds of household chores. She's grown up a lot and has become really thoughtful.
Tzu Chi realizes that all kids need care while growing up in adverse conditions. In August of 2007, Tzu Chi began helping the children of the needy families to enjoy learning at the Tzu Chi New Shoots Youth Camp in Hualien. In December the same year, Tzu Chi founded the New Shoot Scholarship Program in Hualien. In 2008, they held scholarship events in Yilan and Taitung. And then Tzu Chi volunteers from across the island started joining the ranks and helping the disadvantaged children. Through Tzu Chi volunteers' care, Yuxin once again enjoys a mother's love.
When your mother left you to us, Auntie Meizhu, and I realized that you will be our responsibility for a lifetime.
In every important moment in life, Tzu Chi Volunteers has been by Yuxin's side. This year, she once again receives Tzu Chi's New Shoot Scholarship.
Getting the scholarship made me really happy. It will encourage me to work harder and become a better person.
In the past 7 years, the scholarship program has helped more than 17,500 children from poverty-stricken families like Yuxin.
There are lots of kids with low grades in school, and we want to encourage all of them to get the scholarship, so we created 5 categories of the award.
The 5 award categories are learning areas, outstanding performance, progress, perfect attendance, and filial piety. From home and abroad, through the scholarship program, all children alike receive wholehearted love and blessings from Tzu Chi volunteers all over the world.
Staying in Taiwan in Santong, New Taipei City, as part of their enrichment course, Tzu Saos arrived at the homes of 5 care recipients to help them with their housework. The children were at first hesitant upon seeing the unhygienic living environment. However, after getting their hands dirty, many began to relish in the joy of selfless giving, and some were even inspired to do more housework at home.
In Taiwan, Shanchong Tzu Chi volunteers led a group of Tzu Saos to visit a senior resident and help her clean her home. Everyone split up the task and got to work. Physical obstacles can be overcome using a step stool. However, emotional ones are tougher to conquer.
Before I started, I was scared and thought maybe there would be bugs too, but afterwards I realized I wasn't scared. Helping to clean was very meaningful.
While we sweep, we're not only cleaning the floor but also the heart. When helping someone, it should stand from the heart.
Taking the time to check each item carefully, these young volunteers know that the seniors' valuables might be hidden among the piles of garbage.
Spending time to help the senior clean up her house was very fulfilling. I enjoy helping others in need.
Before, I would always procrastinate and not do chores at home. But by coming here to help someone else clean up, I'm inspired to do chores without anyone asking me.
The children learn that through selfless giving, they gain much more in return.
We saw two seniors who suffered from spinal injuries, but their outlook on life was vastly different. One had a very positive, optimistic view on life despite her shortcomings.
The group of Tsuxiaos helped to brighten up this house with their hard work and is now ready to tackle the next lesson head-on.
In China, as the Xiamen International Tea Industry Fair is held in conjunction with the Xiamen International Buddhist Items and Crafts Fair, Tzu Chi volunteers participated in both events. At the Xiamen Tea Fair, where volunteers set up a booth to promote Jingsi tea, some 3,000 fairgoers visited over the 4 days to learn about the organization's humanitarian spirit. With no colorful or bright decorations, the store set up by the Jingsi bookstore at this year's Xiamen Tea Fair successfully captures the attention of some 3,000 fairgoers in 4 days.
The tea is a brand of love.
He asked what products we had. I said, Tzu Chi's products are love.
As Tzu Chi participates in the Xiamen International Buddhist Items and Crafts Fair each year, starting 4 years ago, the organization also joined the tea fair with help from the coordinating manager. Even a supermarket manager from the United States falls in love with the Jingsi tea.
Very pleasant flavor, very soft.
Jingsi tea is for those who are cultivating wisdom. It is light, but has a unique taste to it that you need to discover on your own.
Media volunteers are also on site to record the event, and many have been inspired in the process of giving.
I am grateful to Tzu Chi brothers and sisters for encouraging me. We don't have to pay anything to gain wisdom.
Another volunteer, Zheng Kaibing, is glad to be taking part.
My biggest reward is personal development.
Both volunteers and fairgoers find spirituality through this tea fair. Back to Taiwan at the end of the show, polio patient Yang Xiaodong from China's Xiamen arrived in Taiwan's Hualien earlier this year to receive medical treatment for his joints and back. After 5 successful surgeries, Yang is now undergoing rehab in hopes of getting back on his feet one day. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.